Let's start with a confession. Today I'm not going to complain. I'm an old Honda, 250 cubic centimeters, 2 cylinders, built in '99. In 25 years I've learned to find fault with any asphalt in the world. Today it won't work. We're riding the CA-261. From La Cavada to Ramales de la Victoria. Along the way we'll pass a royal arch from 1784. 26,000 cannons that no longer exist. A monument to a cyclist. A mountain pass. The capital of the world, and 3 places that won't let me in. And in between all of that, there's the road itself. One of the best in Cantabria. I promised not to complain. I never promised not to brag. Let's ride. The arch says, Carlos III, King. Year 1784. These are the main gates of the Royal Artillery Factory. For more than 200 years, cannons were cast behind this arch. What exactly went on here I'll tell you a little later, at the museum. It will fit better there. For now, just one thing. The road we're riding today starts at the gates of a weapons factory. I like a beginning like that. Right past the arch there's a bridge, and past the bridge, a fort. We go right. 22 kilometers to the capital of the world. That's not my joke. It's written on a house at the entrance to Arredondo. We'll get there, and I'll explain. Less than 100 meters on, we turn right. Interesting. The Church of Santa Maria Magdalena. Octagonal. The church and its tower both. For an 18th century village church, that's almost provocative. It was built in 1740, commissioned by a man who was born here and ended up as Archbishop of Zaragoza. He left, he rose, he sent architecture home. The stonemasons were local. Remember that pattern. It's going to repeat today. Only the second one won't go to Zaragoza. He'll go across the ocean. Back on the road, and almost immediately we turn off again. Here's the next thing worth leaving the road for, the Museum of the Artillery Factory. We look at it from the outside, but outside is where the interesting part is. The factory was set up here by a man from Liege, back in 1622. The site wasn't chosen for the view. Iron ore nearby, forest for charcoal nearby, and water nearby to work the bellows. For more than 200 years, barrels came out of this place. Around 26,000 of them. In the best years, 800 a year. They were taken down to the sea and shipped to every ocean the empire could reach. Then iron got cheaper elsewhere, and in 1835 everything stopped. I look at these barrels with professional interest. We're made of the same material and roughly the same idea. Cast iron, a measured charge, a controlled explosion inside. The only difference is frequency. They got one explosion, and it was their last. I get a few thousand a minute, and I've been doing it for 25 years. A short ride, and the Church of San Juan. It wasn't built here for decoration. Hundreds of people lived at the factory, working every day with fire and liquid iron. Somebody had to be responsible for the outcome. Master founders were brought in from far away, and some of the surnames in these villages still don't sound Spanish. And now it begins. The reason for all of this. The 261 climbs for 8 kilometers of nothing but corners. Tight radii, fresh surface, no gravel on the exits. Let me explain what that means for me. On a bad road I'm busy with myself the whole time. Listening to the suspension, counting the joints, waiting for trouble. Here there's nothing for me to do. The front fork is silent. The rear shock is silent. For the first time in a long while, I'm just riding. And 250 cubic centimeters here isn't a punishment, it's exactly the right size. I don't have to grab a fistful of brake to make a corner. I go in on the same drive I ride with. A big bike would feel cramped here. I fit. We rode this road 3 times, by the way. First to scout it, second to film the places, third just to ride. The third was the best. On one of the corners there's a monument to a cyclist. Put up in 2003. Alisas is a temple for cyclists. People come here on purpose, so they can talk about it afterwards. Today there isn't a single one. It's evening, the sun is low, all the heroes have gone home. The monument is idling. I've got nothing against them. They do exactly what I do, only with their legs and without petrol. The difference between us is honesty. On this climb I get help from combustion. They get help from nothing. Puerto de Alisas, 674 meters. For mountains that's nothing. For me it's 8 kilometers of work in third. At the top we switch the engine off, and I can hear the cooling metal ticking inside me. That's normal. That's how I breathe. The viewpoint here is round and built of stone, with a compass rose under your feet. And along the parapet, names and arrows are carved in. Where to look, and what's supposed to be there. The Bay of Santander, Peña Cabarga, the Ruesga Valley, Collados del Asen, and further out, if the air is generous, the Picos de Europa. That's the only sign today that points at a horizon instead of a road. Every other sign told me where to go. This one tells me where to look. From here on I'm not much use. What works here isn't sound. The descent from Alisas towards Arredondo is the kind that makes me sorry roads have an end. The corners open up. I barely need any throttle, I just roll and steer myself. And ahead, rising out of the valley, Peñarroches. 1,342 meters. The second summit of the Hornijo Massif, behind only Mortellano. Get acquainted now, we'll be meeting her again today. We ride into Arredondo. 477 inhabitants. And a plaque on a house, capital of the world. Let me explain. In the 19th century so many people left here for the Americas that the name Arredondo was better known in Mexico City and Havana than in Santander. The Indianos, the ones who came back with money, I've already met on these trips, so I won't introduce them again. Remember the octagonal church at the start of the road? Same pattern. These ones just went further and came back richer. And here's the result. 1860, neoclassical, everything by the book. Built by Antonio Gutierrez Solana. One of those who left, made it, and came back. For a village of a few hundred people the church is oversized. Which, if you think about it, is exactly the signature. And next to it he put up a round tower. They say it was for watching the sea from up there. You can't see the sea from here. Not at all. Between Arredondo and the water there are mountains, the ones we spent half an hour crossing. But the tower is still standing, and Arredondo has no plans to change the story. Quite right too. Now up the side road, towards the hermitage of San Juan de Socueva. Let me say it straight away, even if there were nothing at the top, this climb would be worth it. The best view of Arredondo is from this turn off, not from the village itself. A minute and a half of climbing, and my rider was already reaching for the camera before we got where we were going. Now about the hermitage itself. It is probably the oldest place of worship in Cantabria. 9th century, possibly 8th. A stone hall built straight in under a rock overhang. Inside, a horseshoe arch. A shape that arrived here before Romanesque was even a thing. It's closed, and even if it were open, you'd still have to walk up the footpath to reach it. That's the first place today where I'm not allowed. The list is now open. From Arredondo to Ramales the 261 calms down. A valley, a river, a steady rhythm, noticeably fewer corners. On the left, the Church of San Pedro Apostol. Riva de Ruesga. They started rebuilding it in 1520. The tower went up in 1608, and the side chapels arrived 100 years after that. So the building was assembled in pieces over almost 2 centuries. My biography is much the same, only with spare parts and rather quicker. Through the village and up to the viewpoint over the Ruesga Valley. There she is. Peña Roches, the one I introduced you to on the descent. You can see her from anywhere in this valley. As long as she's on our right, we're going the right way. A sat nav is a spare part around here. The rock does the job. And at the viewpoint, in August, the blackberries ripen. Plenty of them. The wall with the brambles sits in full sun. The fruit is warm, and my rider walked up to it with a face that said this was the whole point of the trip. I'm not complaining. He gets a free dinner, I get 10 minutes of peace. Fair trade. We come down through Ogarrio, a stone village on the pilgrim road to Liabana, built out of the same rock as the mountains around it. Riding through takes about 10 seconds. That's enough. The streets here are my size, but not my pace. We made a small detour to eat blackberries and break up this dull stretch, and now we're back on the 261 and moving on. Not far to go. Just before the entrance to Ramales we turn right, into an unremarkable little lane. If we hadn't turned, we'd never have known it was there. A bridge. On the maps it's labeled Roman. The Romans, most likely, are unaware of this. In Spain almost any old stone bridge with no surviving paperwork gets called Roman. I'm not going to argue with local tradition. Whoever laid it, it sits low, neat and to the point. Bridges like this are the easiest way to work out where the old road actually ran. It's almost never where the asphalt is now. In Ramales itself there's Cavada, a cave with a mouth you could drive a small hangar into. But the access is closed. A no entry sign at the turn. From there it's on foot only. So we don't get in. Which is a shame. There's Palaeolithic painting inside. Although it lies between 600 and 1,200 meters deep from the mouth, and nobody has taken that far. So fine. No regrets. And yes, that's the second place today that wouldn't let me in. Out of Ramales we climb the switchbacks to the south. The last climb of the day. The engine is hot, the sun is low, and I have exactly 1 minute to add things up. We started at an arch with a king's name cut into the stone. We rode past a factory that cast cannons for 200 years and didn't leave a single one running. We climbed a pass where a stone circle tells you where to look. We came down into a village of 477 people that calls itself the capital of the world. And honestly, it has as much right to that as some real capitals do. We stood under a tower with no view of the sea. We didn't get into the oldest chapel in Cantabria. We didn't get into the cave with a mouth the size of a hangar. We ate blackberries. Well, one of us did. And in between all of that there were 22 kilometers of corners, for which I'm prepared to forgive this day everything else. On the left a wall rises up. There's a via Ferrata running across it. People move along that rock on carabiners, in places where moving was never part of the plan. Not enough legs, not enough arms, and up you go anyway. From the outside it looks like a design flaw in the human being. Today it's empty. Same as the pass. Around here the working day ends earlier than ours. Last stop today, Covalanas. The cave was found in 1903. Inside there are red hinds, drawn in dots, fingerprints pressed in ochre. Since 2008 it's been World Heritage. They let people in groups of 7. From the car park to the entrance it's 700 meters up a footpath. I already know how this ends. Today everything interesting was either locked, or up a hill, or 600 meters underground. Except one thing. The road was open from end to end. From the Royal Arch to this car park, and it didn't ask us for a single step on foot. Of everything on today's list, it's the only one that didn't send us away. We're here. My human looked at the path, then at his watch, then at the path again, and switched me off. Third place today that has to be reached on foot. Third refusal. No judgment, just noting it. If you ever find yourself in this part of the world, don't try to ride the 261 quickly. It's one of those roads you come back to. I've ridden it 3 times and I'm not tired of it. See you down the road.